Alright, hey, what's up fam? It's Blkhippiee here, coming with a new video. Just thought I'd show you guys Skittles, my Brazilian rainbow boa here. Just showing you guys how well she's doing. She's now, dude, how old is she? She has to be probably what, like 3 months old now, we'll just say, roughly. I mean, I don't know exactly, I'm just kind of guessing there. But here she is, looking beautiful, man. It's really cool to see her grow. She's eaten every time for me so far, so she hasn't skipped a meal. So she's a great eater, which is awesome. It's always a great sign to see. A lot of people talk negatively about these guys, and I don't understand why. You know, I understand the humidity issue, but to me, it's not that hard to kind of keep your humidity up. I would say for me, it's really easy keeping her humidity. She lives in this enclosure right here. It's easy keeping the humidity in that enclosure like 99%. Super easy, so it's never really an issue. You know, I understand for some people they may have that issue, but there are solutions like using terrarium moss. That's what I use. I use terrarium moss, the top layer, and then I use cypress mulch, and I'll also use that terrarium moss. So those two items together really help keep the humidity up. And I also mist it down with, in the mornings, every morning I'll mist it down with, you know, distilled water. And I say distilled water because when you use distilled water, you avoid getting those like watermarks everywhere. I don't know, to me, I never like having watermarks in my enclosures. It's really gross. I find myself like spending a lot of time cleaning that out whenever I do have that situation. Anyways, so just use distilled water when you're misting down your enclosures to avoid, you know, that calcium deposits. So yeah, that's that. You know, there aren't too many new things really about her, you know, but like I said, just like the humidity, that is always kind of a thing that I check at least, man, 4 or 5 times a day. You know, and so it being a pandemic, it's kind of easy to do that when you're sitting at home all day. So, you know, this best time if you're interested in getting a Brazilian rainbow boa probably would be now. So you can spend the time, you know, that you have, or time that you need. But anyways, so that's that. But what I do want to do today, something a little bit different. I just wanted to do a little tour of my enclosures. I've had a lot of people kind of ask like, hey, like your enclosures, like how do you, you know, how do you keep them? Like, you know, what do your enclosures look like? And so just kind of show you guys my snake collection today. So this is my first, or not my first snake, but it's the first one I guess I'll show you guys. But yeah, this is my Brazilian rainbow boa, like I said before. And so she lives up there. And so let's go check out her enclosure. So this is her enclosure. Work in progress. But yeah, this is where Skittles lives. So this is an 18 by 18 by 18 Axoterra. And what I do is I put a plastic piece that I got cut for the top screen. That's just to keep the humidity in. And you see the gauge, 97%. So, like I said, it's pretty easy keeping it in at 99%, believe it or not. It's really easy. And then there's that moss I was saying that I use. So I use this moss. And then with this substrate, you see the condensation all down here, and so it keeps the humidity really nice. And like I said, like half of the screen, I use this. Half of the screen I use this. It's like plexiglass, like plastic, piece that I got cut at Lowe's. So I measured the top half of the screen, and I got this piece cut, and this piece just fits half of the screen. My lights that I use are what's called Stingray lights. They're just like aquarium lights. You can buy them at a pet store. You can buy them online. Yeah. So, and what I do is I black out the backgrounds. As you can see, that's just my light for recording. But as you can see, both like the sides are blacked out, and also the background. There's a background, so that just keeps your snakes feeling really comfortable, I find. So that was just Skittles, and the next one we have is Bubba. This is my ball python. So as you can see there, so right, monitor, the temperatures and the can't think right now. So I monitor the temperatures and the humidity. And as you can see, so all my tanks have the backgrounds and the blacked out sides. And like I said before, like half of the tank has a plastic piece along with Stingray lights. Obviously a thermostat as well. That's that thermostat is for my Brazilian. And all my other thermostats are down here. The thermostats are really important for these animals because it controls the heat and avoids your snake from getting burned. Unfortunately, that can easily happen. So he was the first snake I had, and he was definitely the most defensive, I would say. So let's try to take a peek and see what he's up to. And there he goes right there. So that's my boy. He's pretty big. And yeah, he don't really like to be messed with, so like I told you, he gets a little defensive, so I don't like to stress him out too much. But he's been really good. He hasn't bitten me. He's tried before many times in the past, but I would say in the past like 4 or 5 months, he's been really, really good. So let's go on to the next one. So we have here, this is my boa constrictor imperator, well, albino boa constrictor imperator. And she is about maybe 7-8 months old right now, going on 9 months probably, more than likely. So this is her enclosure. She's definitely due for an upgrade for sure. Don't mind that back part right there. That's not actually in the tank. That white nasty stuff you see, like gunk stuff, that's actually on the back of the paper. So need to replace that paper, but yeah, I promise her tank is really clean. But yeah, so as you can see, she's right there, and she's hungry for sure, looking like a goober. But yeah, so she likes to pretty much like hide on her side and have half her body on the hot side and half kind of buried out. But definitely when she's in this kind of pose, she's definitely hungry, which is kind of funny. And here's my other boa constrictor imperator. This one is a jungle boa constrictor imperator, and you can see him right there. He's also hungry. I feed them both on the same day, which is tomorrow. So tomorrow's feeding day. So they're both like definitely ready for it. But yeah, his enclosure is a little bit bigger. I'll be moving Kiki here into an enclosure of this size probably within the next like month or so. So yeah, she's definitely due for an upgrade, but she's fine for now. So yeah, there you have it. That is my snake collection that I have so far. So yeah, I'm kind of show you the rest of the room, and so yeah. This is the collection so far. Look at that sunset. It's a cool sunset. Hey, what's up, fam? So you guys just saw my snake collection. So far I'm at 4. and it's dope. So you know, you saw Skittles, you saw Bubba, you saw Kiki, and you saw Bowie, and they're all doing really well. So that's what's, I guess, really exciting. And I was in my first one. I got my first one way back in like June. So it's been about, it's going on 7 months since I've started my collection. And so yeah, it's really exciting. I remember my first like thought about doing it, and I was just like, like researching and just asking a ton of questions. And then finally I just went with it, and I started with ball python just because I was a little bit more familiar with them, and then quickly hopped right into the boa species and just fell in love with boas. I think boas are so fascinating, and they reach a really cool size, and they're just so docile. Like, all my boas have been chill since day one, and so it's just really cool. I love them. They're dope. My favorite, it's really hard to say favorites, but I'm the most excited for Skittles, my Brazilian rainbow boa, because that is one I've always wanted one of those. So it's really cool to finally have one, and to kind of grow with it. And it's kind of funny because before I got Skittles, there were several other species that I've always wanted to get into that I was afraid. But now I definitely don't feel afraid anymore. There's always people that are gonna kind of instill fear in you, like, oh, be careful, this type of snake is aggressive or defensive, and you just kind of have to figure that out for yourself. I find just like listening to people, half the time people are wrong. Honestly, I've heard bad things about green tree pythons. I've heard bad things about tree emeralds, tree emerald boas, and long story short, these snakes I'm so fascinated in. And a lot of people have said nothing but bad things about them until I start seeking out people who have them, and actually handle them, and actually know them and understand them. And every person is like, dude, like, these snakes are awesome. They're docile. They're chill. And so this leads into my point. Just, if you're ever curious, or if you're ever kind of on the fence, just do your due diligence, do your research, but also just make sure you get different perspectives. If one person is giving you a whole bunch of cons, try to find somebody else that can give you some pros to kind of balance that, and so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Anyways, that wraps it up, fam. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you watch my channel, we keep it positive. And so today's positive challenge of the day, it may seem silly, but trust me, it works. But the challenge is simply to look yourself in the mirror and to simply tell yourself how awesome you are. Just look yourself in the mirror and just list out the things you like most about yourself. Do that every day this week. If you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your face, that's the best time to do it. There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself in the mirror, especially if it's something positive. So, that's what I encourage. Give it a try. Let me know how it worked out for you. Anyways, so that does it, fam. Thanks again for watching. Blkhippiee out. Peace.